Imagine you're stranded on the side of a deserted highway.
Right, like in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dead of night. Your car just died, completely gave out on you.
Sounds awful.
It is. And you're just sitting there, right on the hood of the vehicle, staring down this long, dark road.
Just waiting.
Yeah, waiting for a set of headlights to appear. You know, you're waiting for the tow truck or maybe just a friendly stranger to pull over.
Right.
In that exact moment, your entire existence is hyper-focused on one single thing, which is rescue.
It's a state of total passivity.
Yeah.
You are effectively on pause. I mean, your survival is entirely dependent on a variable that you just cannot control.
Right. The engine is dead, and so is your agency. But, and this is what we're getting into today, what happens when that deserted highway isn't just a stretch of asphalt?
Oh, right.
Like, what if that highway is your career? Or, you know, a failing relationship? Or just your general sense of purpose in life?
That's the real question.
Yeah. Today, we are opening up a really fascinating philosophical guide. It's called The Sovereign Soul, the Architecture of Self-Rescue. And we're using it to explore a really terrifying, but I think ultimately liberating reality.
Which is that nobody is coming to save you.
Exactly. Nobody is coming. Okay, let's unpack this because I really want to make something very clear right out of the gate for you listening.
Yeah, it sounds harsh.
It sounds incredibly bleak when you hear, nobody is coming to save you. It sounds cynical almost.
Totally.
But diving into the actual mechanics of the sovereign soul, this isn't a bleak discussion at all.
No, not at all.
It functions more like a highly practical guide to emotional reflection. It's about self-mastery for you, the listener. It's not about being isolated. It's just about recognizing who actually holds the keys to the vehicle.
Right, and that realization that nobody is coming, that's really the cornerstone of this entire philosophy.
Yeah.
We are dealing with an incredibly compelling core tension right from the start of this deep dive.
A huge tension.
Yeah, there's this profound friction between the comforting, warm illusion of rescue.
The idea that someone will sweep in.
Exactly, that someday someone or something will just fix the narrative. There's friction between that and the raw, unyielding power of self-reliance.
So to understand why this shift in perspective is so necessary, we first have to look at what the author identifies as the primary obstacle.
Yes. And it's a fundamentally human behavior. It's deeply wired into our psychology.
Which is just the tendency to wait.
The waiting game.
Yeah, the waiting game. This guide argues that people are kept trapped by waiting for 4 very specific things.
Right.
They are waiting for motivation, confidence, validation, or opportunity.
What's fascinating here is why those 4 specific elements are so incredibly paralyzing.
Because they sound good, right?
Exactly. On the surface, waiting for them seems like a prudent strategy, like you're being smart.
Right, just biding your time.
But the underlying psychological insight in the text reveals that this is actually a subtle surrender of agency. Let's take validation, for example.
Okay, yeah.
We crave it because, well, evolutionarily speaking, tribal validation literally meant survival.
Oh, wow.
If the tribe approved of your actions, you got to stay in the warm cave. If they didn't, you were cast out into the cold to die.
Right.
So today, your brain still interprets acting without external validation as social death.
That is wild. So we wait for someone else to, give us permission to feel good about our choices.
Exactly.
Or even to make the choice in the first place. And I imagine that same evolutionary break applies to waiting for the quote-unquote perfect opportunity, right?
Oh, very much so. I mean, the illusion of the perfect opportunity serves as this brilliant defense mechanism against taking any real risk.
Because taking a risk means expending energy.
Yes. The human brain is designed to conserve calories and avoid unnecessary danger.
Makes sense.
By convincing yourself that you are simply, waiting for the right moment, your brain gets to feel totally safe.
Right, you avoid the risk of failure.
Exactly. And you simultaneously avoid the guilt of inaction because you've successfully framed that inaction as strategic patience.
Wow. Strategic patience. You are basically giving the remote control of your life to something you don't even control.
You really are.
You're saying, I cannot move forward until the universe perfectly aligns, or, until my neurochemistry provides the ideal burst of motivation.
And those ideal conditions, they're a complete illusion. Life just does not offer friction-free environments.
Right. But okay, let me push back a little here, because I hear what the author is saying.
Sure.
But practically speaking, that sounds a bit reckless. Let me play devil's advocate for just a second.
Go for it.
If I launch a business without waiting for the capital, Or, without waiting for market validation, I'm going to go bankrupt.
Right.
Or if I jump into some complex project without waiting to acquire the right skills,
Yeah.
I fail catastrophically.
Yeah, of course.
So how does this philosophy differentiate between waiting as a form of procrastination and waiting as just like necessary preparation?
Okay, that distinction is absolutely crucial. See, preparation involves active gathering.
Like actual doing.
Exactly. Acquiring capital, studying a market, taking a class to develop a tangible skill. Those are all actions you control.
Right.
What the sovereign soul targets is waiting for an internal emotional state or an external rescue. The real danger lies in believing that an emotion like confidence has to precede the action.
Oh, I see. So we've had the timeline backward this entire time.
We really have.
We think we need the armor before we go into battle, but the text is saying the armor is actually forged by the battle itself.
That's a perfect way to put it. The psychological reality is that confidence is the result of action, not the prerequisite.
Wow.
When you wait to feel confident before speaking up, or you wait to feel motivated before starting the work, you are just engaging in a really sophisticated form of procrastination masked as preparation.
That reframing changes everything. When I was reading this, looking at this dynamic of waiting for motivation, confidence, validation, and opportunity to all perfectly align, it felt like sitting in your driveway, staring at the steering wheel, and just refusing to put the car in drive until you know for an absolute fact that every single traffic light in the entire city is currently green.
That is exactly it, and it's a mathematical impossibility.
Right.
By the time the light 3 miles away turns green, the one right in front of your house has already turned red.
Yeah, and meanwhile, time is still passing. Your life is still happening.
And just are actively participating in it.
So, if readiness is an illusion, and we obviously can't wait for all the green lights, what is the actual trigger?
Right.
Do we just drive blindly into traffic? Because getting off the hood of the broken down car is one thing, but knowing how to start the engine requires a totally different mechanism entirely.
Well, the mechanism requires a total shift in focus. You have to move away from external rescue and point entirely toward internal responsibility.
Okay.
The author basically boils the survival mechanism down to 2 central maxims.
And the first one is?
The first is, responsibility creates power.
See, that's interesting. How does carrying a heavier burden actually make someone more powerful?
It seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, because we usually associate responsibility with weight, with stress, being tied down.
We do, but if we look at the psychology of it, the mechanism becomes very clear. It all has to do with your locus of control.
Okay.
When you are waiting for a savior, you operate with an external locus of control. Your brain constantly scans the horizon for something outside of you to come and fix the problem.
And that's stressful.
Incredibly stressful. Psychologically, this state actually spikes your cortisol and anxiety because your very survival depends on variables you cannot influence.
You're just at the mercy of the weather.
Exactly. But when you accept the harsh reality that nobody is coming, you undergo this radical shift to an internal locus of control.
Okay.
Yes, the burden of responsibility falls entirely on your shoulders, which is a heavy realization. But this shift literally alters your neurochemistry.
Wait, really?
By claiming total responsibility, your brain finally stops scanning the horizon for a tow truck, and it starts cataloging the tools you already have in your own trunk.
Oh, wow. Because if you are not responsible for your situation, then you are completely powerless to change it.
Exactly.
But by accepting the fault, or, well, at least taking ownership of the response, you instantly acquire the authority to act.
Yes. Power and responsibility are just 2 sides of the same coin. You cannot have the agency to change your life without taking the ownership for it.
Even if it's not your fault.
Even if the circumstances are totally unfair, ownership is what gives you leverage over reality.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because this leads directly into the second maxim from the text. Action matters more than potential.
Right.
And society's obsessed with potential.
Yeah.
We constantly praise, untapped potential.
Oh, we love it.
We look at gifted kids or talented athletes or brilliant artists who haven't quite made it, and we speak about their potential with such reverence.
We do.
So why does this framework argue so fiercely against it?
Because potential, in a vacuum, is essentially just a theoretical construct.
Okay.
It doesn't actually interact with the world. The author argues that valuing potential over action is just another manifestation of the waiting game.
Oh, man.
You're waiting for the potential to somehow realize itself, but potential doesn't act. exists as a possibility.
But like a battery sitting on a desk.
Little battery.
Yeah, you can look at a standard AA battery and say, wow, that battery has so much potential. It has all this stored chemical energy.
Right.
But if it just sits there on the desk, it's completely useless. The potential is just trapped inside a little metal cylinder.
And it remains completely useless until it is actually plugged into a device completing a circuit.
Exactly.
Action is the circuit. What this philosophy conveys is that a person with seemingly mediocre potential who consistently completes the circuit,
Who actually takes action.
yes, who consistently takes action, they will always outpace a person with boundless potential who just remains trapped in the waiting game.
Because action generates real-world data.
Yes, it creates friction with reality. Action is the only mechanism that converts the theoretical into the actual.
That makes a lot of sense.
It levels the playing field, making inherent potential totally secondary to the sheer willingness to interact with the world as it is.
Rather than how you wish it to be.
Exactly.
So we can't have friction if we're just sitting in the driveway. We have to actually move.
Right.
And this pivot from passive waiting to active responsibility, it isn't just some modern self-help concept either.
No, not at all.
The sovereign soul explicitly grounds this approach in a much older, battle-tested framework.
Yes. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the author actually builds this entire architecture around a classical interpretation of Stoic philosophy.
Right, the Stoics.
We're looking at 3 specific virtues required to build this internal rescue system:
And those are?
discipline, wisdom, and self-mastery.
Okay, but I want to clarify something for you, the
Yeah.
listener, right here, just to make sure we don't fall into a really common trap.
Good idea.
When people hear the word Stoicism, there is a very prevalent stereotype. People think it means becoming a robot.
Yes, the unfeeling statue.
Right. Suppressing everything, becoming cold, just an unfeeling wall of stone. Does building this architecture of self-rescue demand that we completely detach from our humanity?
It's a great question because that pop culture version of Stoicism misses the mark entirely.
Okay.
The text is not advocating for the elimination of emotion. It leans heavily on the classical Stoic concept of apatheia.
Which, I mean, that sounds a whole lot like apathy.
It sounds like it, sure, but the meaning is fundamentally different. Apatheia does not mean apathy or emotional numbness.
What does it mean then?
It translates more accurately to freedom from being controlled by your passion.
Oh, I see.
A sovereign soul is not a dead soul, it is a regulated one.
So it's not about denying the fear of sitting on the dark highway. It's about not letting the fear dictate whether or not you actually get off the hood of the car.
Exactly. You feel the fear, you feel the total lack of motivation, you feel the deep craving for external validation.
You just don't obey it.
Right. The wisdom comes in acknowledging those emotions without treating them as instructions.
Wow.
Self-mastery is the ability to observe your internal state, to say, I feel completely unmotivated and terrified today, and then execute on your discipline anyway.
So the goal isn't to become cold.
No, the goal is to not be swept away by the chaos of your own internal weather.
If I'm understanding this correctly, it's kind of like the difference between the weather outside and the thermostat inside.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right, like you can't control the blizzard raging outside your house. You might even feel the cold draft against the window.
Exactly.
But you don't just surrender to the cold. You walk over to the thermostat and you set the internal temperature required to keep the house livable.
Yes.
You maintain the climate you need to function, regardless of the weather outside.
That internal regulation, that is the core mechanism of apatheia. And that is exactly how you build the architecture of self-rescue. You are laying the bricks with discipline, you are designing the blueprint with wisdom, and you are overseeing the whole construction with self-mastery.
You know, it makes sense. A sovereign is a ruler. To have a sovereign soul means you are the ruler of your own internal kingdom.
Right.
And a good ruler ruthlessly ignores what is outside of their borders. The rescue is outside of your control. The validation of your peers is outside. The perfect opportunity magically appearing outside of your control. Spending energy on those things is just a massive waste of sovereign resources.
Because every single ounce of energy spent hoping for a rescue is an ounce of energy stolen from the act of rescuing yourself.
So what does this all mean? We've navigated some pretty intense psychological territory today.
We really have.
From the evolutionary traps that make us wait for validation and perfect timing, to the neurochemical shift of claiming absolute responsibility.
Right, and all the way to the Stoic practice of apatheia and emotional regulation.
The author distills this entire philosophy down to one incredibly memorable concept that really separates life into two distinct phases.
It's a powerful quote.
The day you stop waiting for rescue is the day your life begins.
It forces a real confrontation with reality. And, while the realization of self-rescue is an inherently individual journey, the text does point out that you don't have to study this architecture in total isolation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it references a global application of these ideas through a community called the Silent Mind.
Right, because nobody is coming to save you. Doesn't mean you cannot learn alongside others.
Exactly.
It just means no one else can do the push-ups for you. You can have trainers, you can have peers, but the heavy lifting of your own existence belongs exclusively to you.
It's all on you.
And that brings us right back to you, listening to this deep dive right now. The challenge presented by the Sovereign Soul is to look at your own life with uncomfortable honesty.
The hard look.
Where are you currently parked in the driveway? Where are you still waiting for a sudden burst of motivation to start that project?
Right.
Where are you letting the lack of external validation convince you that your work doesn't matter? Or where are you just waiting for the perfect, risk-free opportunity to drop into your lap?
Identifying the specific areas where you are engaging in that sophisticated procrastination, that is the very first step toward self-mastery.
Definitely.
But I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, something that expands on this idea that action is the only circuit that brings potential to life.
Okay, what is it?
Well, if we accept that waiting for perfection is a trap and that action generates the friction necessary to create reality,
Right.
then what happens to our traditional definition of failure?
Like, if you take action and you fail.
Exactly. Think about the mechanics of it. We are usually terrified of failing, which is exactly why we wait for confidence or the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, we stay on the hood of the car.
But if you leap and you fail spectacularly, haven't you still successfully bypassed the trap of waiting?
Oh, wow. Yeah, you have.
You have generated real-world data. You have interacted with reality rather than theory. Doesn't that make an active, messy failure inherently more valuable than pristine, untested potential just sitting safely in park?
It redefines failure completely. It means the only true failure is staying on the hood of the car.
Exactly.
Which brings us back to that dark, deserted highway. You're sitting there staring at the empty road, hoping against hope for a savior. The engine is dead.
But your legs aren't.
No, they aren't. And the moment you finally accept that nobody is coming, that's the exact moment you slide off the hood, your feet hit the pavement, and you start walking.
That is the moment your life begins.